Anthony Edwards of the Minnesota Timberwolves has been the subject of intense social media scrutiny after his communication with an Instagram model was revealed. The model, Paige Jorday, told Edwards she thought he was the reason she was pregnant, and this week she published on Instagram the text exchange they had. What is happening with Anthony Edwards? Edwards, a top player for the Minnesota Timberwolves, released a statement on social media following a woman's accusation that he had impregnated her and then offered her $100,000 to have an abortion. According to images on social media, Paige Jorday, an Instagram model, shared purported texts with 22-year-old Edwards in which she said he wrote, "Get an abortion, LOL, and I will send you money to help you out." After agreeing to a 5-year, $260 million maximum contract deal with the Timberwolves in July, Edwards stated that he made his remarks in the heat of the moment and that he will now handle the matter privately. "I made remarks in the heat of the moment that are not reflective of who I am as a man and what I believe," Edwards stated in a statement that was uploaded to his X account. "It's important to empower and enable women to make decisions about their bodies and what is best for them. I'm managing my personal affairs in a private manner and will not be providing any additional commentary on them at this time." It's thought that Edwards and his girlfriend Janine Robel are a couple. The screenshots, which were first shared on Jorday's Instagram story, also featured a picture of JP Morgan Chase & Co. at the bottom of a scheduled $100,000 wire transfer on November 27, 2023. The sender and recipient weren't visible in the photograph. Jorday claimed that Edwards sent her further texts that said, among other things, "Just take the pills, I don't want a kid, just make sure I get a video of the box with the right pills. You got the money, what's the holdup? And my attorney going to handle it," were the contents of other messages. Instagram Stories users were able to view the post from Jorday's page, Dream Page, which has 1.4 million followers. Her second Instagram account, Paige Jorday, is linked to this one and has 416,000 followers. It's verified, by the way. In another Instagram post, she stated, "I've never once ran to the internet about no one. I made numerous attempts to handle things in private, but my efforts were met with resistance. Someone who knows exactly what they're doing and accepts no responsibility for anything has deceived and manipulated me. I guess it's going to be me because you guys always want someone to blame." The Timberwolves have not yet made a public statement on the matter. Is Anthony Edwards dating someone? Currently, Edwards and Janine Robel are a couple. Early in 2023, the rising star of the Timberwolves made their relationship public after putting on an incredible 44-point effort on their home court against the Houston Rockets. In the post-game interview, Edwards stated, "My girlfriend's birthday is in 2 days, man. She's going out of the country, so I had to put on a show for her." Edwards stands out for being upfront about his love for Robel and for being the only lady in his life. "She's the only one among all you girls who will believe you will get off an N for signing a contract. She's the only one making an appearance. I'm a little green for her because she's new to the table," Edwards remarked following the Zion Williamson controversy this past summer. Social media influencer Robel has 120,000 Instagram followers. She made her pregnancy known on Instagram. The child belongs to Edwards. Mom, a title that's just above the Queen AGE, Robel captioned. Robel had experience as a mother before. Crew Carter Cozart, her kid with renowned rapper Chief Keef, was born in 2014. Between Edwards and Robel, there's a notable 8-year age difference. Robel was born on January 24, 1994, and Edwards was born on August 5, 2001. Edwards is right now 22 years old. Regarding the specifics of their relationship, Edwards and Robel have both remained quite private, and not much is known about how the two first met. Is Anthony Edwards the NBA's future face? Anthony Edwards, a player with the Minnesota Timberwolves, was recently interviewed by Complex. In this interview, he made a lot of audacious statements. What stood out the most was his answer when someone asked if he could represent the NBA as its face one day. In response, he said, "Oh yeah, 100% yes. It really does take time, effort, and dedication to achieve. I think I have all 3 of those traits, and I think that will put me over the top." When asked if he still needed time to enter the conversation for the top player in the league, he elaborated on his schedule for achieving the same. In response, Edwards said, "Yeah, without a doubt. I require an additional year. I believe I'll be discussed among the top players after this season. At face value, this notion might appear absurd to the typical NBA fan. Edwards is just 22 years old right now. He hasn't yet been selected for an all-star squad. Furthermore, he has yet to win a single postseason series, but there are still a lot of things going on in his favor that suggest he could end up being the biggest star in the NBA. To begin with, Edwards has one of the most crucial attributes that the NBA looks for in players it wants to promote, and that's his superstar nature. Edwards hasn't been in the league for too long. He was selected first overall back in 2020, but he was able to enter the argument about the NBA's most likable player right away thanks to his charm. He's already had a ton of memorable interviews and quotable moments. One of his most memorable interviews was when he boasted, half-jokingly, that he could play any sport professionally. Regrettably, a player can't become the face of the NBA just by virtue of their personality. If this is the case, then Boban Marjanovic, everyone's favorite amiable giant, may be the league's current face. Instead, to reach the top of the NBA's hierarchy, a player needs to have the ideal combination of skill, work, ethic, and personality. Edwards is fortunate to already have a good combination of all those attributes. Edwards has been playing at a record-breaking rate thus far in his brief career. At 386, he broke the record for the most threes made by a player before the age of 22. Above second place and stars like LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Jason Tatum, and Devin Booker, this is more than 74 made threes. The fact that Edwards can shoot the three-point shot so well is encouraging for his future in a league where high-volume shooting is the primary focus. Edwards is fourth among players under 22 years old with 2,925 lifetime points earned during the regular season. Only James, Durant, and Carmelo Anthony, three of the greatest wing scorers of all time, are higher than him at this point. In his first ever playoff series against the Memphis Grizzlies, Edwards also showed that he was the genuine deal. Despite all of his advantages, Edwards is by no means a lock to take the lead as the league's future face. Edwards will still have intense competition in the future, assuming James or Curry remains the league's current face. The most well-known ones are Giannis Antetokounmpo and Luka Doncic, two current NBA players. Doncic and Antetokounmpo are still far more accomplished than Edwards at the ages of 23 and 27 respectively. Doncic and Antetokounmpo both have the same superstar charisma that Edwards does. To put it plainly, Edwards will have a very tough time unseating either of these two and emerging as the league's top player. Not to add, there are still more promising young players vying for a spot among the NBA's elite group, including Tatum and Ja Morant. All things considered, it becomes quite evident that Edwards has the disposition, skill, and work ethic needed to perhaps become the NBA's future face. Sadly though, he's not the only young athlete who does. There's an abundance of young talent in the NBA who's making waves year after year. Edwards will need to start guiding the Timberwolves to some much-needed playoff success in addition to having a breakthrough season if he's to even be considered in this conversation. Taking everything into account, it seems doubtful that Edwards will become the NBA's only face. However, we can't ignore someone who regards himself as the world's most self-assured individual. What are your thoughts on the current Anthony Edwards controversy? Do you believe that this will have an impact on his playing career going forward? Please feel free to comment your thoughts down below. For more interesting stories and updates, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon for notifications. Bye for now, you guys.